art class must be starting. I wonder where Mrs. Cairns could be. I'm right here. Puppets have been used for a long time to tell stories and entertain people. And today, we are going to finish our shadow puppets. I don't know if I attach that in the right place. At the end of this video, I think we're gonna put a different hole in the back. I think that's too far in. We'll figure this out together. Let's get going. Hello, my talented artists. Subscribe. Shadow puppetry, also called shadow play, began over 2,000 years ago in China and India, and on the Indonesian islands of Java and Bali. To give you an idea of where China and India are on a world map, this country is China, the large pale green one on this map. We have to travel quite a ways to get to North America, which is where the USA is, another pale green country on this map. There are many artists to create one shadow play. There are the people who make the puppets. There are the puppeteers who move the puppets and voice the puppets. And there are the musicians who accompany the story. Shadow play is one of the first animated storytelling, like cartoons. The first thing I want you to do is lay out both of your cutouts of your paper animals and have them going the same direction. And then you're going to work in pencil, of course. I'm going to work in marker so you can see what I'm doing. And what you're going to do is you are going to, in the middle of each animal, you're going to draw a big old letter C. That's a big curve. But on this one, it's going to be a letter C going backwards. So if the bump goes towards the head on one animal, then you want it to go towards the bottom of the other animal. And you can put them together and they kind of look like an S. Well, mine looks like a backwards S. Don't cut it until you show me. And remember, when we make mistakes, we can usually fix it. And I have lots of expertise to help you. So once you have your two curved lines, one that looks like the letter C and one that looks like backwards letter C, you're going to actually cut along that line. Slow and low. That is the tempo. If you wanna be neat, you gotta go slow. Slow and low. That is the tempo. If you wanna be neat, you gotta go slow. Slow and low. That is the tempo. If you wanna be neat, you gotta go slow. Now, you don't want the pieces that create a big hole in the middle, so you're gonna recycle these. You don't need these. You only want the pieces that kind of remind you of that bean shape. And this is how we're gonna make our animal be able to move so nicely and have our shadow puppet parade, or any shadow puppet performance you want to do. So we are going to attach these with a brass fastener that looks like this. It has two little bottom parts come apart Can you see that? You'll see it when you get close. Those really should stay together until you get it through both holes. We have to make a hole. We want the hole to be about 1 inch in. Don't make it close to the edge. Let's move that piece. We're going to start with one piece. We cannot use a hole punch for the hole. Do not use a hole punch. It will be too big. First, make a mark. Let's measure in 1 inch from the edge. We're going to fold your puppet piece, but we don't have to fold it to make a crisp edge. This doesn't need to be a real fold. If you do it, it's fine, but we don't need to. You're going to take your scissor and you're going to make a very short, just a tiny little cut. It does not need to be big, very small. And if you want to test it, you can take your brass fastener and you can take the pointy side, the skinny side, and you're going to press it through that hole. See how it's coming out the other side? Like that. Then we want to make a hole on the other piece. We want to measure, where do we want that hole? Because we don't want it to look like that. That would look strange. We want the body to match up. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brass fastener and I'm going to twist it a little to make a little hole. And then I'm going to line up the two pieces. I don't want it that short, right? I want it to be, I don't want it that long because it comes in. I want it to overlap like that. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to kind of drill it down, twist it in that hole. To make this hole bigger, you don't want it to be too big, but you could take a pointy, not this type of pencil, but a pointy pencil and kind of press it up into that hole. But you don't want to rip this too big. However, if you do rip it too big, we have tape. Tape fixes so many things. So that is kind of far in. I'm a little worried about that being too far in. Let me see. It's right there. That's really far in, but I think it'll work. So, do you remember what the next step is? Right, we're gonna fold it. I made the dot a little bigger so I could see it and you could see it. And now I'm gonna make another tiny little cut, just a tiny little cut. We don't want a big cut. It's better to make a small cut and then push this little brass fastener through to make it bigger. So I'm gonna start by putting the brass fastener through one piece, and I'm gonna take my other piece and have it go. I have to, these are sticking out. They're separating these two little sides. See how they open up? I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I do that, if you can see it. See how they open up? They can open up like that. They need to be together. So you might need to pinch them together like that. I'm gonna pinch it like that. I'm holding the brass fastener with my thumb and I'm pinching it with these two fingers. Let's see if that works. I'm gonna aim for my hole, my second hole. Oh, pushes right through. So now that we have our two pieces together, I'm going to press the two sides down of my brass fastener. And now I have my little pig that looks like it can run and move. I'm gonna do two more things. I want a tail and an eye. I am going to use the hole punch for an eye. It'll just be a round eye. Don't make the punch right at the edge of your puppet. Push the hole punch in. Have it be kind of lower down on the head. Don't make the eyes up here by the ears. Push it down because eyes are usually about halfway between the chin and the top of the head. And I'm gonna punch my eye. So now that I've got the sticks on, next week we'll get the sticks on and any other details you want to add. I realize that my instincts were right. This second hole is too far in. The holes should only go in about 1 inch, so I'm going to fix that, and I will just speed up the video so you can watch me do it again in a shorter amount of time. I can see that that is not far in enough. So I'm going to do a hole in between those holes. And remember that any holes you make that you can see that you don't like, you can patch with masking tape. I think that connection works. That looks good to me. Let's see if you can connect your two pieces today and punch an eye hole.